Yeah, it's the WWE Clash at the Castle post-show. Let's do it.
Start.
Yeah, welcome to the show. WWE Clash at the Castle. Roman Reigns retains the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. And then we had a sing-along. Johnny North is with me here in studio for the first time
since March 2020.
Yeah. Can everybody hear Johnny North? Give me a mic check, Johnny.
Check, 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 check.
There he is. Johnny is here. And, yeah, it's been a long time since we've seen Johnny here. Johnny looking gigantic, of course. Franco, 316. Shout out to Franco. Shout out to Doug Hepburn, Ryan Katz, Harold Schneider, Silent by Deadly, Tony Mack, everybody joining us live here on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Production wants you closer to the mic.
So I have to push it in more, or
yeah, there you
like
go.
that?
Yeah,
Possibly.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, my ears are too big.
You're a big guy.
Yeah, too big.
Johnny North is a pretty big guy, right? I feel like Shawn Michaels with Diesel right now. You know?
Well, you know, Shawn's not a great comparison. Maybe like Bread and Anvil is a better comparison, I think.
All right, I'll
Yeah.
take it.
Well, I'll take that.
I'll take that. I don't mind that. Clash at the Castle. What did you think?
I'm glad Roman won. You know, I would have been kind of upset if Roman lost right there, but overall, it was okay. I mean, SummerSlam was much better than this. There's no question. SummerSlam was the better premium live event, and this was just okay. Like we were talking about this beforehand. This is more of a spot show. Like they're not going to do another Clash of the Castle. Maybe they will, but it's not going to be a yearly thing like SummerSlam is.
Yeah.
This is going to become a tradition.
Yeah.
This was a nice show. You know, Drew got a nice moment for his hometown crowd, but let's face it, like this is just a one and done.
Yeah. A lot of people thought Drew was going to win.
I can understand that. And, like, there was a tense moment there where if there wasn't that pullout at the end, maybe he was going to win. Like, it looked like pretty much set that they were going to give it to him. But thankfully, they thought otherwise. This was not the time for Roman to lose. This isn't WrestleMania. This isn't SummerSlam. He's got to lose at a big event. This was not the time. On a Saturday, you were talking about on a Saturday. He's going to lose? Doesn't make sense.
Saturday afternoon in early September, you're going to have one of your longest reigning champions ever just drop the belt to Drew McIntyre.
Right.
Just because they happened to do one big show in Wales.
I mean, it looked impressive. It was amazing. You know, over 60,000. Like, that's amazing. But still, like, no way. Like, we were talking about this before. Like, to me, the Brock match, that seemed much more important. And it was a better match overall. Like, that was the time for Roman to lose. And if he couldn't lose there, he's not losing this one. This was a nice moment, but it's not the time for Roman to lose.
And this match was not.
Well, this was just, you know, by the numbers. Like, they just did a usual match. You probably saw a better match, like, when they were here in Laval.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this was long, man. It was really long, and it wasn't very good. You know, it was just kind of, they went through the basic stuff. They didn't do very much for a long time, and then eventually it picked up, but man, it took a long time to pick up.
I felt they rushed the ending a bit there. Like that spear at the end, it felt like they were rushing towards the ending because I think they didn't have a lot of time left.
Yeah, there were some good false finishes.
They had a great, with the Claymore, that was great. And the shenanigans with Tyson Fury and Theory coming out, what we expected, but they gave us that.
Yeah. So at one point, Drew and Roman, they're beating each other up. Did the ref bump at that point?
It was, I believe, Roman grabbed the ref, threatened to hit him, and then I think Drew hit them from behind, and then the ref rolled out, Charles Robinson.
And then Austin Theory came out.
Then Theory came out with his own ref.
Yes, with his own ref. And for some reason, Tyson Fury world heavyweight boxing champion, punched Austin Theory and stopped him from cashing in Money in the Bank.
Right. Because he needed a moment. They had to get Tyson Fury a moment where he hit somebody, right? And that was their moment. He didn't have to worry about it making too much sense. It's just, well, he doesn't want him in the match for whatever reason. Here we can get Tyson to get a hit in there, get a good pop. Got rid of Theory right away, so that was it.
But it didn't make sense, right? Like, does Tyson Fury have some sort of beef with Austin Theory that we're unaware of?
My guess is just that if you're going to ask him why he did it, it's just he wanted it to be a one-on-one match. He didn't want that, like, oh, Money in the Bank is a cheap way to do it. It was meant to be one-on-one, so that's it. Like, he shook hands with Roman afterwards, and he seemed to love Drew afterwards. He had to sing a song with him for whatever reason. Like,
yeah.
So
he was just there to keep law and order.
Right. The sheriff. Sheriff of Wales.
What's up with that? Why was he there to keep law and order? Why was that his? It was just a bizarre addition. It felt like, oh, we have Tyson Fury. Let's figure out a way to use him.
Yep.
Let's do this. But in the end, I don't think it was well done. You know, like in the end, like, okay, if they would have kept it to just the Austin Theory thing, fine. But so Drew hits the Claymore on Roman.
Yep.
And has him down 1-2, and then Sakai, what's his name?
I think it's Sika Sakai, yeah. I think you had it right.
Did I have it right?
I think you did.
That was just a guess.
But they might change his name, too, on the main roster now.
I was just making sounds with my mouth. Sika Sakai. I didn't... But I got the guy's name right.
I could see them actually changing it, though, because he's probably going to... Because he's the Uso's brother, right? So they're probably just going to call him Uso, right?
Yeah, he's the Usos' younger brother. He wrestles in NXT. He looks a lot like the Usos.
Yeah.
And he pulls the referee out. Solo Sikoa?
Not close enough.
Is what Franco 316 is saying. Solo.
So I see them dropping that, though. I don't know about that. Solo Uso? Doesn't really...
I don't know what they're going to call him. I don't know if he's going to be with them full-time or it was just a one-time thing to help Roman.
I think full.
Well,
he's doing nothing in NXT.
You could say that, but, you know, God only helped Roman that one time in the match with Finn Balor, and he hasn't been back since to help Roman in any big fights.
Okay, sure. That was whatever that was, you know, because there was a demon involved, so you had to get God involved, I guess. God's revenge for losing to Vince.
Okay. I don't know. Man. So then the referee gets pulled out of the ring, and Roman, how does he win? He hit the spear?
He hit the spear, yeah.
He just hit the spear?
Yeah, well, it was a distraction.
Then,
I think Solo, like, he grabbed Drew, or Drew grabbed him, and then he guillotined him on the ropes, and then spear.
Yeah.
I don't know if they needed the guillotine, but whatever. Like.
And then he turns around, spear.
Yeah.
And that was his, what, second or third spear that he ate at that point?
Third. Yeah, he already hit him with 2 spears.
Yeah. And then that was it. And that was the finish. And the crowd
was pissed.
They were mad. Like, you could tell they couldn't believe it. They were in shock. So many faces as Roman walked out were just like, and like mad, like, you know, like just confused.
Well, imagine,
and angry.
Though, you spend like thousands of dollars on that event, and then your guy doesn't win in the end. Yeah, I'm sure you'd be kind of upset.
They thought their guy was going to win. They really did.
I mean, a lot of people did for whatever reason, you know. And
for months, people were convinced.
And I get it. Over 60,000. It's like, well, if they're going to do a big thing. Bulldog won, right? He won the championship in '92. It's a totally different thing, though. I agree.
That was
it's totally
an Intercontinental title, and it's a different deal.
It's totally different. They had the whole family thing with Brett. Like, it's totally different, and it's cool Brett was there. That was really awesome. Like,
yeah.
You were like, all the, you know, Dave Boy's family's here, and you're like, oh, Brett's not there. Brett's right there. First guy they showed. That was fantastic.
Yeah. Brett was there.
That's great that they show appreciation of Brett. They still do.
Brett was there. Adrian Street was there.
Yeah.
Leon Edwards was there.
With
UFC
the title.
welterweight champion with the UFC welterweight title belt.
That was amazing.
That was pretty cool. Yeah. And then, so Roman wins.
Super chat.
And Drew McIntyre is like down in the ring. Tyson Fury comes in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And Tyson Fury starts singing to Drew McIntyre. And then Drew McIntyre joins in. And then cuts a little promo about the crowd, thanking the crowd. Win or lose, we're still going to party. And then he starts singing, and the crowd is singing with him. And they're just singing. And that's how the pay-per-view ends. With Drew McIntyre and Tyson Fury just having a sing-along.
It should have cut before that. They shouldn't have had the promo. That should have been for just the crowd, live crowd. That actually kind of like devalued Drew a little bit, like made him kind of pokey a little bit.
It ruined him.
Not ruined him, but it just
ruined.
Like he's supposed to be this badass character, right? Like you lost a lot of that credibility right there. By sing, like not only someone sang a song to you, you sang a song back to them. Yeah, no, sorry. Like I know Austin started doing that, but it was a different type of Austin. Like Austin wasn't so much. He lost that kind of coolness to him. He was just doing whatever would get reactions. If Drew's at that point now, it's over for Drew.
Yeah, but when Austin did it, it was kind of funny, and he was changing lyrics around, and he was, it was funny when Austin did it. Drew's not Austin.
Well, Austin also turned heel, remember, as well?
Yeah.
So it was a little bit different. He wanted people to boo him, so he did that so people would actually hate. But actually, people liked it more. It worked the opposite way. But Drew's not at that level yet. He's not at that point where he can just like sing songs and, it's going to help his character. If anything, it just makes him seem more like a goof.
Makes him seem like a total chump. He's happy just being there. He's happy to just get the opportunity.
Well, actually, he had the boo-boo face when he came out, so it didn't seem like he was too happy what was happening. We noticed that the second he came out.
You think he thinks he... Do you think that he thought he was going to win?
Like, you could just tell in guys' entrances. You've seen it before in the past. Like, this has been well documented. You can tell when they come out. Like, when the way Drew came out, there was no energy whatsoever, and he just seemed kind of down. And it's like, you say he's more reserved. He's trying to keep all his emotions in check. Not usual. Like, when you see Drew McIntyre do his entrance, there's always energy. There was barely any energy whatsoever. I think because he knew he was going to lose and he was going to let his people down.
I think they really thought he was going to win. A lot of shocked faces there in Wales this afternoon after Drew McIntyre lost. Tony Mack says Fury sings after all his fights, and that is true, Tony Mack. However, Fury wins his fights. Drew singing after a loss, like...
Yep. And that's fine. Tyson can do what he wants, but then Drew had to sing too. That was a little overkill.
Why was Drew singing? How is this? Like, how is this the close of the show? How did they close? And the show was like, all right. And then it just ended in this farce of a sing-along.
There's a reason why they have these segments for the crowd afterwards, and that was totally for the crowd afterwards. The fact that we had to see that, to me, it kind of hurts Drew a lot. But I guess they also feel like, well, we gave Drew that moment. There's not much more we can do with him. Just let him do what he wants now at this point. We've used him.
That's it for him.
Yeah, well, he had the match with Roman. He had the big match. 60,000. Great. Now what? It's all downhill now from here. Like, Karrion Kross, he's going to lose to Karrion Kross.
Yeah. Karrion Kross was ringside too, and that's just to set up the next feud for Drew.
Right. That's it.
What does Roman do next?
Well, Roman's vacation time now. Roman's not at Extreme Rules in October.
Okay.
Maybe he shows up Survivor Series.
Okay.
Shouldn't have to wrestle because he's already double champion.
But?
Maybe, teams up with the Bloodline. Does a Survivor Series match. That'd be kind of cool.
With Sami Zayn?
That'd be interesting. Yeah, sure.
That'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
Roman against Kevin Owens seems like a possibility.
I don't know. I'm seeing Kevin and Sami against the Usos eventually. I don't know about Kevin against Roman again. I mean, we've been down that road several times already.
Yeah. I don't know what they're doing with Roman now. He just keeps winning and winning and winning. Doug Hepburn dropping a super chat. Thank you, Doug. He says, Johnny, no tats? If you did, what would it be? Tattoos, I guess.
You know,
you have no tattoos.
You know what's funny? I just ordered a new tank. Surprise, surprise. And it's going to say, I hate tattoos. So, yeah, I'm not big on tattoos whatsoever.
Wow.
I actually wanted Tattoo Suck, but I couldn't find that tank. So I just settled with I hate tattoos. It's a little harsh, but still gets the point across. Not a big tattoo fan.
All right. Johnny doesn't like tattoos. Yeah. So Roman beats Drew here. Drew off the Karrion Kross. Roman, you think skips the next pay-per-view and is maybe not around for a bit? Because it does seem like there's nobody else really for him at this point.
Well, think about it. Like, a lot of champions we didn't see tonight. So now you got to build up the other champions and what they're doing. Like, what's Bobby Lashley going to do? What's, like, well, I guess we know what Bianca's going to do, but, you know, we got to go forward with that. You know, what's Liv going to do? What are the Usos going to do? Like, there's other champions. There's other stories. Like, they can still do stuff without Roman. They'll survive.
Yeah. Seth Rollins beat Matt Riddle. Seth and Roman.
We had all our predictions right, but Judgment Day again let us down, unfortunately.
Yeah, we predicted everything correctly on this except for the Judgment Day match. We thought they'd win. They never win.
They never win, yeah. But Dominic still turned heel. Like, you still got that one right. But they still lost. Like, they're absolute losers. Just like, they can't win at all. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird that they're a new group and the WWE has chosen to not get behind them. They're just like, yeah.
Well, getting behind them is pretty much, you know, well, they had the last laugh in a sense, right? Oh, Dominic turned heel and we laugh at them. But Dominic didn't even join Judgment Day. He just walked away and did his own little thing.
Yeah.
But that was their over in a sense. Like, oh, well, they had the last laugh.
Edge and Rey Mysterio beat the Judgment Day.
Good match.
And, yeah, I think probably my second favorite match on the show. A lot of people saying it's their favorite match on the show.
It was good.
But I thought the match was pretty good. Let's do match of the night.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah, right?
We both agree on that one.
It happened pretty early on. It was the second match on this pay-per-view. Gunther over Sheamus defending the Intercontinental Championship. Amazing.
Like, I think the only people that don't like that match are the guys who are, like, not into Sheamus anymore, think that he's stale. But to me, it's like you just don't like hard-hitting wrestling, because this was just good old-fashioned, like, rock'em sock'em wrestling. Like, just hit each other as hard as you possibly can, and then just trade move for move afterwards. This was fantastic. Like, you don't get to see a lot of matches like this kind of strong-style WWE match. They don't usually do this. A lot of guys I don't think can do this style. Like, it'd be too much for them. So the fact that we got this, and two guys who are probably two of the best to do this kind of style. Yeah, you're looking at pictures right now of Sheamus, all beat up, and you're about to put it on screen right now. Like, this was an absolute war, and I loved every minute of it.
I mean, this is not from weapons. This is not from a kendo stick.
It's a lot of the opening shots.
This is chops.
And just forearm shots, too. Just like punches. Like,
this is Walter's open hand and punches and
slaps.
And you should see the other guy. You know?
And he's tan, the other guy. And he's still got welts.
He was beat up, too. And they were beat up right away. They were hitting each other with heavy shots right away.
Great match.
Look at this monster. Sheamus! Fella! This match was the best. It was the best match on this pay-per-view.
It's the only match you needed to watch. This is the match.
Yeah.
Like, if you go back and watch the show, you only really need to go back and watch this. This was the one where it's like, this stood out. This is, to me, one of the best matches I saw in WWE all year. Easily.
Yeah. This is one of the best matches I've seen all year. You know?
Like, I still like Brock and Roman a bit more. There's a bit more high stakes in that. There's a lot more shenanigans in that. But this was still an excellent match.
This was something else. This was a hell of a match between two guys that hit so hard, and I was wondering, like, who's going to relent? Who's going to be the guy that kind of says, all right, and holds back, and they don't destroy each other? But nobody backed down.
No.
You know what I mean?
And Sheamus got mad during the match. You could tell. You said it to me. Like, he's getting mad. He's going to get him back with one. He's going to give him a receipt.
And he did.
Yep, and he did, yeah.
Several times. I mean, these guys were hitting each other so hard. It was great. It was, and it wasn't just the chops and the punches. Like, Sheamus hit him with a razor's edge. And Gunther's a big guy.
Razor's edge and those power bombs that Sheamus took, those rough power bombs, like on his tailbone.
Oh.
Man, that was just a brutal match.
Yeah.
Back and forth.
It was so violent. It was such a good match. It was one of the better matches I've seen in a very long time. And, yeah, I expected it to be good, but it was even better than I expected. And Gunther wins, which we expected. We predicted Gunther to win.
Right.
And, yeah, that's fine. He's the Intercontinental Champion. They're doing stuff with him, but Sheamus is so good. I wonder what they do with him. Like, he's a very talented wrestler, and it seems like there's never a clear direction. There's, like, little feuds here and there.
Yeah.
Like, this Gunther thing, it could be over right now, right? Is this going to continue? Although,
probably not.
Probably not, because Sheamus has two other guys.
Right.
And then Gunther's other guy came back, right?
Yeah, Imperium is back.
3-on-3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Imperium is back. That's the thing. Gunther has a group.
Yep.
He had Ludwig Borga.
Kaiser, I believe.
Yeah. And now he has...
It was Bartholomew.
Castagnoli.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
I don't think that was his name. But, so, they have a new guy. So before it was just Gunther and Ludwig.
Yeah.
And now it's Gunther, Ludwig, and Bartholomew?
Well, that was his old NXT name, I think. I don't believe it's the same name now.
Bartholomew J. Simpson.
Wouldn't that be amazing? But no, I think they changed it. I think they said something that they changed the name again, though. So, wait and see.
Well, it was a great match, and I guess we'll see more.
I would hope.
I guess we will see more. That does make sense. Yeah, I was like, oh, maybe it'll be over, but now that they both have these groups, and they did face off before.
Extreme Rules, a 3-on-3, have a Donnybrook, why not? Makes sense.
Everybody loves a good Donnybrook.
A good old-fashioned Donnybrook, That's
yeah, old-fashioned. Yeah, you don't want new-fashioned Donnybrooks are bad.
It's got to be good old-fashioned.
It's got to be good and old-fashioned. Lee J. Robinson dropping a super chat. He says, Liv Morgan tapping at the last PLE really damaged her as a character. Even this win on the PLE only helped a little bit to remedy that damage. Yeah, Liv Morgan.
I thought she tapped again tonight, to be honest.
Yeah, at one point when Shayna pulled her in some sort of move, she was like, oh, tapping.
She was going like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That match happened.
Yeah, it happened. This is a huge problem with a lot of the matches tonight. A lot of them were okay, but they were just too long. Like, what was the opener again? Like, close to 20 minutes. Like, that was way too long.
Oh, that match was way too long. The 6-woman tag. Damage control. Damage control?
I thought they had a name. It makes sense. Not a great name, but I knew they had a name.
I just reading the results here. I've got some results in front of me, and it says Damage Control, Bailey, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. I have no idea.
But Samantha Irving didn't say Damage Control when they came out. She said individual names. So I don't know if that's WWE official. That might be Bailey saying that's what their name is, but okay. WWE I don't think has acknowledged it yet.
Acknowledge Damage Control.
They have not been acknowledged.
Tyson Fury acknowledged the Tribal Chief tonight.
He did, and as he should.
That was interesting. After Roman beat Drew, Tyson Fury comes in the ring, has a face-to-face with Roman, and you think, oh, are they going to fight? Are they going to battle in some sort of way?
There's a moment.
But they do not. They just shake hands and Roman leaves the ring because Tyson Fury, even he recognizes that Roman is a Tribal Chief, and he must acknowledge him. Even I was a non-believer at one point, but I've come around, and I acknowledge a tribal chief, as we all should, we all do.
It took some time, but yeah, he finally came around. It's good. Everyone acknowledges the tribal chief eventually. Some take longer than others. It's all right.
You gotta acknowledge him, man. If you don't acknowledge him, I mean, what are you doing with your life, really?
Well, it's going to be hard to enjoy WWE because, I mean, it revolves around Roman. And you also have to understand Roman's going to be gone for a little bit now because he doesn't need to be around.
Oh, well, then what are they going to revolve the show around?
Well, it's the bloodline still. The Usos will still run the show in the meantime.
Usos and Sami Zayn and stuff?
Solo will be there, yeah.
They're just going to be forcing Sami Zayn to do mean things to Kevin Owens? Okay.
It'll be interesting.
Break into his house when he's sleeping, Sami Zayn, and punch him in his face.
That'd be great. They won't do that, though.
No, I don't think they'll do that.
Like punch Kevin's dad. That'll never happen. Kevin's dad would love it.
Whoa. I'm not saying that. What are you talking Yeah. What do you think of the Seth Freakin and Matt Riddle match?
I thought it was okay. I mean, they had some good moments, but I just wasn't really into it that much. It just felt like
Super chat.
it's too planned, you know? It doesn't feel like they turn into like a grudge match, and it didn't feel like so much a grudge match. It's like, well, I'm going to do a move, you do a move kind of thing. Like, if it's a grudge, it shouldn't seem so fake, and it felt too fake to be a grudge match.
Yeah. It didn't live up to the promo on Raw.
Right. Like, it didn't connect the same way, you know? Like, if you're going to do this kind of stuff, then, you know, it's like, we're going to throw down. And it's like, no, I'm just going to do my Cirque du Soleil against your Cirque du Soleil. And that just comes off as awkward when that happens.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks good, but it didn't fit the story.
If they did the same match that Gunther and Sheamus did.
Exactly. That's what we needed. Exactly that.
But they're not capable of that.
Well, no, I think they are, but that's not what they wanted to do. They wanted to do their match.
But it didn't make sense in this moment.
Right. No, it didn't. You know?
And that's why it's not a memorable match. They tried to make this feud memorable with that, you know, shoot-style promo.
Well, the Jones-Cormier thing, yeah.
Yeah, but in the end, it's not really worth it if you're going to do that type of match that on this card is kind of forgettable. People are going to remember Roman beating Drew. I mean, what do you remember? People remember Roman beating Drew, Edge and Ray winning, and Dominic turning on Ray.
Yeah, I remember that.
You're going to remember Gunther and Sheamus for being excellent.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about it.
Well, I'm also going to remember, yeah, because Seth and Riddle, that went on almost 20 minutes as well. Again, way too long. Like, that match didn't need to be that long.
Yeah.
A lot of this show should have been cut down. Like, it didn't need to end like 4:30.
Yeah, why did they do a 3.5-hour show
for 6 matches
with only 6 matches?
It was too much. Like, either put that kickoff match like on the actual PLE, or just, you know, not have it that long. It doesn't need to go over 3 hours. 3 hours is fine. Some matches don't need to be this long just because, oh, you have 20 minutes. You don't have to go 20 minutes. You just drag on with a headlock forever, too, which they did in the women's match.
Yeah. That match was not good either. Too long. Way too long. A lot of these matches were way too long. You're right. Edge and Rey Mysterio over the Judgment Day, 12 minutes, 35 seconds. One of the shorter matches on this card. And, you know, it's the favorite match of a lot of people, right? It was perfect.
It was fine. Like, I had no problem with the length, and hey, it was a good match. I mean, they're 4 of the great wrestlers right there. They told a very good story in the ring. They made the most, I thought, of their time. It didn't drag. A lot of the matches dragged.
Antoinette says Roman doesn't need the title, and you know I love him. Yeah. You don't think he needs the title, Antoinette?
The thing is, like, it's too long now. Like now he has to, if he loses the title, it's got to be the biggest thing ever. It has to be like a WrestleMania SummerSlam. And this was great, you know, 60,000, but still, it's a spot show. You can't lose at a spot show on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
He couldn't lose today. It wouldn't. I don't think it would have been the right move. I'm happy that he won.
Did most people even watch this? You know, like I don't know if people were really ready for a 1 p.m. Eastern start time. I had people text me saying like, "Oh, the show's already started." Like, yeah, it started an hour ago.
Yeah, show's already started. Yeah, it's over. You know. That's it. You know, and I think Roman doesn't need to lose the belt again. I just think that he can keep on this reign as champion.
Not to Drew. Like Seth makes sense. The Rock, yeah, it could make sense. But Drew's not the guy.
I don't think The Rock makes sense. I want to see Roman like.
Well, The Rock is The Rock. The Rock's bigger
get to
than
Mania,
WWE.
beat Rock, and then maybe drop it to somebody else in WWE, like a Cody or a Seth or somebody like that.
But you could also see The Rock win it and then lose it back to Roman, which we've seen before.
It's a lot of commitment from Rock.
Yeah,
I think if we see Rock at WrestleMania, it's one match, retirement, over. Like, I think it's one more match, and that's it.
Okay. Well, if he wants to do that, that's fine. But I could also see where it's like, well, let's drag this out, you know, because they love doing that. The milk. They love their milk.
They do love milk. Who doesn't like milk? Well, me, actually. I'm lactose intolerant.
Then not milk for you.
No milk for me. Harold Schneider dropping a super chat. Thank you, Harold. He says, I like this pay-per-view more, maybe because it was in the afternoon.
Yeah, it's true. We're not dead tired right now. It's true.
Yeah. It was
positive.
It was pretty good.
It was all right.
Harold Schneider gifted 5 Ringside Report Network Wrestling MMA and memberships.
Nice.
So he gifted 5 memberships to the YouTube channel. If you're not a member, you could grab a membership right now, thanks to Harold Schneider. So become a member right now, and if you want to sign up, you can go to join.ringsidereport.net to sign up, just like Harold Schneider did, Antoinette did, Doug Hepburn, and many others I'm seeing. Lee J. Robinson, Tony Mack. A lot of members. Franco 316. A lot of people checking in here. We appreciate you watching the show. For a long time, we have not been together in this studio. Now we are back, Johnny. We're back. And we saw the Clash together. And we ate burgers. You ate 4 burgers.
Great burgers. Great cook, I must say. You cook quite well.
Thank you. I make a good burger on the barbecue.
You had a great spread, too, you know. Some good vegetables, a lot of fries. I was quite content.
Good. I'm happy. I'm happy to feed you, Johnny. What else do we have here on this pay-per-view?
Well, we didn't really talk about Liv and Shayna. Like, we kind of skipped over it a bit.
I mean,
I know you don't really want to talk about it because you didn't really like the match too much.
Yeah, like, I don't know. This pay-per-view. All right, let's do this. I don't want to talk about Liv and Shayna in detail because I don't think it was really good. What's your match of the night? I want to know in the chat. Let me know what your match of the night was. If it wasn't Sheamus or Gunther, if it wasn't that match, what match was it? Some people like the Edge match, right? That was pretty good. But
maybe people like the main event. I could see that.
That match was over 30 minutes.
Well, it felt like it was over 30 minutes. It felt like it wasn't going to end anytime soon.
It felt like it was an hour.
Well, think about with the entrances and everything, and then the afterwards.
It was killing me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was difficult.
That actually kind of hurt the actual premium live event than helped it. Like, to me, it actually lowered the rating I have for it. Like, I thought going into that, like, we're looking at a 7. In the end, I give it more like a 6 because that main event hurt it.
Yeah. I'd agree with you with a 6 because the Gunther and Sheamus match was so good.
Right.
It gives the pay-per-view, and
there's a lot of below average.
I don't know, man. It was pretty bad. Edge and Rey against Judgment Day was a good match.
Yep.
And then Dominic Mysterio, after the match, turning on... Well, first he kicked Edge in the balls.
Lost his shoes.
And then he kicked Edge so hard in the balls that one of his shoes fell off, so he decided to take off the other shoe. And then he hit a clothesline on his own father, Rey Mysterio. And then he walked out, but not with the Judgment Day.
Or his shoes.
Or his shoes. He left his shoes in the ring for some reason.
Felt weird. And then he took his shirt off, and I saw some people complain that he should never do that ever again. So Not a great start for Dominic whatsoever with his heel turn, but we'll wait and see it. Like you said it on Wrestling Uncensored this week, you got to sink or swim. So let's see what happens by himself now. What's he going to do?
By himself, though? As a heel
I
character?
told you, like, this is not a good idea. I'm worried about this. This is like when tag teams break up. It's like one guy goes one way, goes the other way, and it's like the other guy probably gets released. Like, Dominic's probably not going to get released, but I can't see him getting a really strong push. As an individual character, he's shown us nothing in terms of promo ability, and matches seem to be a struggle to get through. Like, they're okay as a tag team. He can get by with his dad. But in a singles, it's rough. And I can't see him being the heel, how that's going to work out. I wasn't for this idea. I didn't think you should break them up, but sink or swim now time, so we'll wait and see.
Will it be David Flair or will it be Cody Rhodes?
I mean, David Flair is a former
Like,
U.S. champion.
Which way do you – because at one point you look at – yeah, okay, former – yeah, but David Flair, you look at him in WCW and you're like, come on, man, give me a break, right?
Right.
Or Garrett Bischoff or somebody like that.
Yeah.
Who's like there for one reason and one reason only,
Yeah.
and he's not really wrestling, but he happens to wrestle.
Right.
But Dominic Mysterio seems like he might be that more than Cody Rhodes, who at one time you look at and you're like, yeah, is he?
Yeah.
Like when he first started in WWE, you're like, how the hell is he in the WWE?
Yeah.
He did not fit in the way that Dominic Mysterio doesn't fit in right now.
That's true.
But at what point does that change?
But the thing is, like, you gave Cody time and he developed, like you saw improvements. We've had Dominic since what, 2019? And
Really?
yeah, Dominic's been there a while now, before COVID. So we've seen improvements, but very slight improvements. And like, yeah, they've given him matches. Like, he's wrestled Seth at SummerSlam 1-on-1, but it's like, well, let's just get through this kind of match. He had some okay moments, but a lot of his offense is just not believable. And, like, he just doesn't have that intensity. Like, his shot, like, he's got some of the worst strikes in wrestling. And it sucks for him because, like, they pushed him way too soon. Like, he should have been in NXT. But because of, his name, he had that spot with Brock, right? That's how he got brought in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he just got pushed way too soon, and I don't think he was ready. And now he has to learn on the job kind of thing, and it's tough. It's not easy, and I don't think he's really picked it all up yet, sadly.
Well, I mean, he's going to have his dad hold his hand through a feud against him.
Okay. All right. Well, still good luck with that.
See how that goes.
Again, the promos, like, you got to be able to talk, though, especially in WWE. I don't know. I just don't see it. I hope he's been practicing.
Yeah, well, you've seen the promos from him so far.
But maybe he's got something up his sleeve here. Maybe they've been practicing. They know how he's going to do it as a heel. Like, he's got a lot of good mentors. Conan's there as well, helping him, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, I hope it's good because we're going to have to watch it.
Well, yeah, but we watched a lot of garbage,
you know what I mean?
too.
Like, we're going to watch it, so I hope it's good, but I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know what's
you
going to
seem
happen.
to be giving this a 5 or a 6, so, I mean, did we watch a lot of good tonight? Seem to be on the fence if this was all good or bad. I think there's some good, but was it all good? No, definitely not. Like I told you this before off air, like, compared to SummerSlam, this was like a nothing pay-per-view. SummerSlam was fantastic, one of the best pay-per-views we saw this year.
Yeah.
This was just like, well, it happened.
There's not much that I liked on this show. Looking at it, like
2 matches.
the damage control. Damage control.
They got to work on that. Thank God, actually, they didn't put that on TV. Like,
damage control. We're controlling damage. That match wasn't great. Bayley pinned Bianca Belair, so it looks like Bayley and Bianca will probably feud for the Raw Women's Championship.
that's all right.
And that's really the only thing that came out of that match.
Yeah.
Gunther and Sheamus was excellent. That was really good. Liv Morgan beat Shayna. with her finisher, that thing off the ropes. No Ronda whatsoever.
Yeah.
No Ronda.
They've gone in a different direction with her. Like, she was involved, and then she's not involved. So they're doing something else. I guess that's the whole thing with Adam Pearce now. That's her thing.
The hell is that?
Because I don't think they realized, or they figured out later, like, people still like Ronda. They thought they could make her a heel. But people actually like this rebellious Ronda. But they don't want to put her against Liv, because they still want Liv to be a face. So that's why they've kind of separated it. Now, Ronda's doing the Austin thing, and Pearce is going to be the Mr. McMahon character. I mean, wrestling repeats itself. I mean, we've been through this, you know? Like, it always happens,
Adam
you know?
Pearce, though?
You know, the promo wasn't bad on SmackDown. I'm actually looking forward to seeing what he can do. It's funny, though, someone wrote back that, you know, Sonya was right about him the whole time. And it's like, yeah, that's interesting. They'll never acknowledge that, but yeah, it's true.
How's that?
Because Sonya said, like, you know, he's a jerk, really. Like, he's showing his true self. Like, he's really just, like, a horrible person. And just because she wasn't getting in her way, she would say that. But in the end, it's like, oh, wait a minute, no. She might be right.
I just saw a comment that came in from Twitter from a guy who said, I thought for sure someone was going to stop him from singing, but no, he just kept on singing. Like, he thought somebody was going to run out and surely attack Drew McIntyre at some point.
That would be great.
Or Tyson Fury at some point attack Drew McIntyre from behind while he's singing.
Yeah.
You know, Tyson Fury starts singing, and then Drew McIntyre starts singing, and Tyson Fury tricks Drew McIntyre and attacks him from behind.
That would have been great.
You know? But that didn't happen.
No.
He only came in and started singing with Drew McIntyre because he knew Drew is so big and dumb that even after a loss, he would sing.
Well, I think they needed a feel-good moment, and I think that was their thing, right? Again, we didn't need to see that. Like, give that to the live audience, not everyone else. Expose Drew for being a wuss.
Yeah, that makes a pay-per-view about a 5 for me. I got to say, like, 5.5. 5.5 because of Sheamus and Gunther being so excellent. But everything else, like Liv Morgan and Shayna, it wasn't offensively bad, but it wasn't.
How long was that?
11 minutes.
It was just, it felt like forever. That was the problem, too.
And it was one of the shorter matches.
Yeah.
It was like the shortest match on this whole pay-per-view.
At least she didn't make Shayna tap. I was worried about that. I thought she was going to do that.
She was trying to do submission moves and stuff.
I thought she was going to get her.
Ryan Katz giving his score on 10. I like that, Ryan Katz. Proactive on the chat. Score on 10 on this pay-per-view, Johnny?
I gave it a 6. I stand by the 6. And it's mainly, like, it was a 7, but that singing kind of killed it. The singing lost the point.
I'm going 5.5. Ryan's giving it a 7. I just think a lot of the matches were not very good. Edge and Ray versus Judgment Day was very good.
Yeah. Excellent match.
Yeah, all right, 6. 6. Final.
That's fair. Because, like, in the end, like, we still saw some matches that weren't that good, really, in the end. So, and mainly just drag. So, when you have 2 out of 6, I think a 6 on 10 is very generous. But it shows you how good those 2 matches were.
Yeah. Everything else was pretty forgettable. I'm pretty disappointed in the main event as well. I guess they've introduced a new character with the third Uso.
Yep.
New member of the Bloodline.
Yep.
That's something.
No Paul Heyman. I thought there'd be Paul Heyman showing up. It's kind of too bad.
No title changes whatsoever tonight, as we predicted.
2 pay-per-views in a row. 2 premium live events in a row. Yeah.
Yeah.
Might be a while.
Everybody talking about all the changes Triple H is making.
Well, we did just have new champions, right, on Raw, new women's tag team champions, so maybe they felt like they already have new champions, so they want to overdo it.
Yeah, but those titles were vacant.
Right, I know. But still, it's still new champions who weren't even featured today as well.
And no surprises either. Like, people were saying, oh, Braun Strowman's in Wales, or Bray Wyatt's in Wales, or Sasha Banks, or all these people are going to show up. And
yeah, no Sasha. It's true.
No, not even Ronda Rousey, who's actually, on SmackDown.
Was advertised for this event, Ronda, yeah. But again, like
They really didn't give much.
no, it really all centered around that main event. Really, that's what kind of sold it. I think for a lot of people was they wanted to see Drew win.
Yeah, and then he lost.
Yeah, but WWE's classic for that. We've known this for years. Where
They
it's like
charged so much money for this show. These people were starved for a show of this magnitude.
right,
Right?
since '92, they keep saying.
They just charged people like crazy for tickets where you could probably barely see a thing. And you're standing up like, what's going on?
I'd love to hear Andy's take on this. I can't wait to hear his take.
Did he go?
I imagine he went.
Oh, my God. And they really give you a dud of a pay-per-view. And Roman Reigns, in the end, beats their guy
Yep.
that they thought was going to win.
And didn't win. And I mean, when you look at SummerSlam '92, look at that card, and then compare it to this card. Like '92 blows this out of the water. It's not even close. Like okay, the Sheamus and Gunther match, like yeah, that can compete with a lot of those matches on the show, no question. But everything else, like no way. Like even like Warrior and Savage, like that was still better than like most of the matches we saw tonight.
Even the Legion of Doom, where Hawk was smoking crack the night before. I
I love the entrance though. The entrance they came on the Harleys, like that was fantastic.
Yeah, but wasn't he really?
Oh, you could tell during the match he's messed up, but whatever. It's still fun because it's LOD.
This was not that.
Well, wasn't this fun? This show.
It was, yeah, and Drew loses. So, as a consolation prize to the fans, they give you Drew singing because you guys like to sing, right? And I guess they liked it.
In the UK,
they
yeah, they love
eat it up.
The
That's
UK,
like
they're singing Bailey's song. Remember, like they were singing for Bailey.
They were
like,
singing for Bailey, but still, like that's what they get. Well, you lost. You didn't win the title, but why don't you watch him sing?
It should have just ended with Tyson Fury singing. Drew didn't need to sing, but you know, I guess you have nothing to lose at this point. I mean, you've lost to Roman. There's nowhere to go but down. So just bury yourself in a hole. It's fine. If you're gonna, if you get buried, at least you put yourself in there.
He didn't seem disappointed.
Well, I think in the end, he's happy that he got that moment. I think he appreciated what he got in the end. The fact that he was able to be put in that spot. It's not every day you get something like that. In that kind of environment,
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. As expected, Roman Reigns wins, and that was it. Madcap Moss and the Street Profits teamed up for some reason, and they beat Austin Theory and the Alpha Academy in the opener.
It was better than the Profits and Alpha on Raw, without question. Definitely a better match. Not a great match, but it was better.
Yeah, it was all right.
Good warm up for the crowd. Like we talked about this, like the heels are going to win the opening match, so you got to give them something to be happy for. Give the faces the over in the dark.
But it was such an uneventful pay-per-view. They built it up real big, and nothing happened. What did we learn? That's what I like to look at every pay-per-view. You look at it, what actually happened? What did we learn? Well, Bailey and Bianca are probably going to feud, which seemed obvious before this pay-per-view happened.
Now it's confirmed, pretty much.
Dominic Mysterio turned on his father.
That's the biggest news, I think.
Roman is still champion. Drew McIntyre is still Drew McIntyre.
Good.
Gunther is still Intercontinental Champion. Liv Morgan is still SmackDown Women's Champion.
Unfortunately.
Nothing really changed except for Dominic Mysterio's feelings towards his dad. And that's how they filled a stadium in Wales with over 60,000 people for Dominic Mysterio to turn on his father. Sucks.
Good luck trying to sell out that place again. Good luck trying to get 60,000.
I mean, they seem mad.
I don't know if they'll do it again, to be honest. Like, I think this was a special kind of thing, and they'll come back for the UK, but I don't know in this kind of like environment. I don't think an outdoor stadium show like this again.
I'm surprised by how many people thought Drew was going to win. It never seemed to make sense to me for Drew to win, but in this match,
I think
because so many people were saying it, I was like, wow, what's going to happen here?
I think the reason why is because this has been building for so long. Like, people knew it was Drew and Roman for so long. It felt like it was months ago that it was almost confirmed this was happening, right? So it's like, oh, if they plan that long ahead, then probably they're going to give it to Drew then. They have it earmarked that this is Drew's final moment, like this is it for him. So
yeah,
people probably thought that way.
I just saw it as like, oh, they're going to put, how do they fill the stadium? Oh, well, they're going to use Drew as like the local guy to be up against Roman and sell it that way.
That's what they did, I think. Maybe some people thought another way, and they were wrong.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Yeah, the tribal tree the tribal tree remains supreme.
This is what happens when you have kids. They kind of mess you up a bit.
Oh, my God. It's fun. Johnny was witness, watched the pay-per-view with me here. Saw everything going on. All the children running around.
This guy is like a master. It's amazing. Like the things he goes through in life, it's incredible. Him and his girlfriend too. I mean, it's not all him too. You got to give her a lot of credit as well.
Yeah.
It's amazing what they go through. I could never do what you guys do. It's incredible. Kudos. Cheers.
Thanks, John. Yeah. Well, thanks, John. That's nice. I'm watching UFC as well. Robert Whittaker fighting Marvin Vettori. I have no idea what's going on in this fight.
Well, someone's busted.
Vettori looks like he's bleeding.
Yeah.
Third in the third round. Ooh, head kick from Whittaker. Looked like it hurt Vettori. But yeah, that was the Castle thing. And now they're going on to Raw on Monday in Kansas City.
That's right. I think Seattle for SmackDown.
You're right.
Yeah,
Seattle
sometimes I'm right
for
with
SmackDown.
stuff.
You're good with that stuff. And, of course, we're going to be back here tomorrow night for AEW All Out.
Wow, we're doing this again. It's true. Not live in studio like this, but...
No, but...
we are going to be for a post show, yeah.
That's right. Tomorrow after All Out, probably around midnight Eastern, hopefully.
Monday morning.
Not later than midnight Eastern. Please, Tony Khan, thank you.
Oh, boy.
Get
some sleep.
If you are not a member, you can accept a YouTube gift membership. You must be using a web browser to do it, but you can accept one of the YouTube gift memberships that Harold Schneider very generously gave out. So thank you, Harold, for that. Thank you for the super chats as well, Harold. You're the super chat leader of the night.
So he's got
or of the afternoon.
Cut on his nose now. Like before he's bleeding from the nose, now he's got a cut on the nose, it looks like.
Who, Vettori?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks bad.
Big punch from Whittaker. Looks like Whittaker's winning this fight.
Oh, third round?
2 minutes left. He looks like he's beating up Vettori pretty good. Which was expected. He was a pretty heavy favorite.
Well, he's number one ranked, and Vettori's second? Like...
yeah. Nobody's really beaten Whittaker in the middleweight division outside of Israel Adesanya.
But he's not getting the next shot, though.
Whittaker?
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to do it because Israel's already beat him a couple of times.
Yeah.
So, and Israel's going to fight this guy Pereira who beat Israel twice in kickboxing and is now in the UFC and is coming after him and is looking pretty strong. So that's the next fight for Adesanya. So that'll be an interesting one. That'll be a good fight. Big one.
I like the last one. I was there for that watch along. I was with you guys. Like I enjoyed it. I know some people didn't like that fight, but I liked it. He fought a smart fight.
You were surprised to learn that this UFC show started before Clash at the Castle and is still going and will end, this is the co-main event.
It's crazy. Yeah, we're not even the main event here. Wow.
It started an hour before Clash at the Castle, and here we are complaining about how long Clash at the Castle was.
That shows you that it wasn't a good show then. We shouldn't be complaining if the UFC show's still going.
UFC's different, has a different pacing, and not everybody watches the whole show. It's a very long show, though. It starts at what?
12?
It started at noon, and it'll probably end around 6:30.
Wow.
I mean, maybe 6. No, probably around 6. It could be 6:30, though, because we're in the co-main event, and we're only in the third round. This fight's done, but it's almost 22-6. They'll probably be fighting a little past 6. Because the main event is scheduled for 5 rounds, technically. Could go 5.
You don't think Cyril would win it sooner?
I think Cyril could win by decision.
Okay, well.
I think it could go 5, So, yeah, it's a long show.
It looks like Whitaker's won.
I think so. All right, we will be back here tomorrow night. Thank you, everybody, for supporting the Ringside Report Network. We'll be back here tomorrow night after AEW's All Out. This has been the WWE Clash at the Castle post-show on the Ringside Report Network.
Please join in and give your support to Ringside Report Network. We've been providing expert coverage and commentary on both pro wrestling and MMA for over 15 years. Go to ringsidereport.net/support to find out more ways to support the channel.